Excuse me, Mr. DJ.
Hey, check this out. We got a great show coming your way.
From the ECSI Sports Studios, the #1 sports information program in America, the Breakfast Bankroll, with your host, the sports broker, Jeff Dawson.
ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all of your sports books and track all of your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You can also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as they're the best account on the platform. Head to the App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire to download the app.
Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your Breakfast Bankroll for Friday, March 15th, 2024. Yes, halfway through this month already. You blink and we're turning the calendar to April. Blessed, stoked, honored to have CXO Travis Geiger fresh off of his trip to NYC. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk a little Oscar recap, and we're going to talk about March Madness. Yes, Sunday around 6:20, 6:30, you'll have a bracket, and we'll be ready to break down those brackets actually as we get closer to the tip-off of the tournament 2024. Shout out, of course, to our proud sponsor and partnership with WagerWire. If you have not downloaded the app, please do yourself a favor. Run on over to Google Play or wherever you download the app. It's free. Start keeping track of your wagers, your investments. Okay, this is not entertainment. Save the entertainment for the public and the degens. We're here to make you money. We're here to win, grin, and smile. That's our job. And educate with a little joke here and there. So run on over there, download the app, get comfortable with the app. Take a look, scroll down to the bottom. You will see a bunch of sports books, casinos there that you can download. You can take advantage of their offers, their promos, their match plays, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And if you're looking for a little flash cash, why don't you join the team? Why don't you join this one big happy family here at WagerWire? Send an email to affiliate@wagerwire.com. Tell them JD from ECSI sent you. Travis, Zach, the rest of the team, the family, the community will take good care of you. So without further ado, the star of this show, the one and only Mr. Travis Geiger.
Hey, Jeff. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Feeling great, man. It's almost Selection Sunday.
There's a team from Storrs, Connecticut, which is 2 hours and 15 minutes away, called the Yukon Huskies, defending champs, I should say, rolling along. They're not the favorite to win this, and we're going to get into the odds boards and stuff, what's going on there. But it's definitely going to be crazy as we're wrapping up championship week. We'll have Selection Sunday in a couple days, and then we'll be looking for some bracket busters. Last year, Travis, there was a 4 Yukon, 2 5s, San Diego State and the University of Miami, and a number 9 FAU,
Yes.
all in the Final Four. So before we run to the window and put all the number 1 seeds going to Glendale, just go back a year and see how crazy March Madness really is.
It's truly unpredictable. I can even pull up the graphs from, you know what? Let's get ahead of ourselves here because this is so interesting, Jeff. I want to pull up just like the FAU graphic from last year. The GIF of of their run. Let's see if I can share the screen. I'm going to share you the FA. Yeah. You know what? I'm getting ahead of myself. We got Oscars to talk about. We got updates to talk about. But that graph is crazy because, like you said, like SDSU, who could make another run, Florida Atlantic, it was all long shots, right? And when you talk about what WagerWire does, it allows you to sell your bet at any time, all or part of your bet. And these teams, as soon as they make the tournament, they're way in the money. And then round by round, you just see that value going up, 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 up. But of course, everyone turns into a pumpkin eventually, all but one. Like we say, there's only one team that can win. The rest go to zero. So a lot of those bets walk out of there, like you say, as confetti or coffee coasters. But with WagerWire, just so everyone knows what we're building is the first aftermarket for sports bets and fantasy entries. It'll be the first time that you can sell all or part of your bet or entry at any point in time to your friend, to someone you don't know. You can start to play rather than against the house. You can start to play the public. You could place a line. You could place a bet on a line when it drops on Monday. Sell it before the game even plays. If it's an NFL bet, place it Monday, sell it Saturday or Friday, and cash in without the game even having to be played. It's a way for the sharp people like that watch your show to really turn their bets into investments. It's something you've been about for a really long time. And that kind of dovetails into the New York updates, because what are we out here doing? Well, we're out here trying to change the paradigm and like the way people bet forever. It's no easy task. I mean, it's hard to go up against what are essentially calcified dinosaurs, sometimes hotel companies that woke up and realized that they were technology companies, and tell them, hey, you have to innovate, adapt or die. We're seeing sports books dead on the side of the road, and we want to make sure that the industry, that's not the future of the industry. We want a healthy industry where everyone's succeeding, that the books are able to make money, but most importantly, that the bettors themselves are empowered, and it's not a race to the bottom.
And as you were saying, what is WagerWire? What are you guys trying to do? And as we talk about whether it's March Madness with 64 teams, only one is going to be the national champ. Confetti, beer coasters, whatever, dartboards, whatever we want to say. WagerWire is trying to allow you to be a hero before it turns to zero. That's basically what you're trying to do. And you are in New York City, a very exciting week. I saw some big people there. I saw some clips of Stephen A. Smith. You talked to me prior to this about the lottery app last year that was one of the guys on the stage. So tell everyone what last week was all about in New York City.
Yeah, so one of the things that we kind of had to get used to in this industry is it's very much a conference-based, in-person, industry when you're trying to do your, biz dev and create. And there's a lot of startups in the space, and we all go to these things. And there's one in New York called Next, and one of the things that Next is known for is a thing called the Hot Six, where they choose the hottest 6 startups in the space to present for a panel of VCs. Of note, one of the panelists was the CEO of Drive by DraftKings, which is DraftKings VC. There's a few other, really great people on there, us and 5 other startups. It's a great class to be in. If you look at who was in the Hot 6 last year, it's Better, which is Jake Paul's company. They just, raised it a $350+ million valuation. Jackpocket, which sold to DraftKings for $750 million. Simple Bet, who I don't know if people know, but is powering the data that allows for micro betting and in-game betting. In Venue, Sightline Payments, $1 billion+ valuation. This is all just within the last 12 months. So it's kind of like being tapped. Not that the valuation is important to us, but it shows you the kind of hyper growth that can occur in a short period of time, especially like when you start to partner with the books themselves. Because, what's cool about WagerWire is we're not going to make money off of people's losses, right? Our revenue is going to be just purely minor transaction fee based. And that's going to be a fraction of the overall handle of the book that we're in. So it's whatever kind of volume we can capture within that book's handle. So something like a DraftKings really catapults us. But for us, it's really just about getting in front of the people and giving people ease of use. Like this is going to go, when it's in the sports books, it's going to be in their app and it's going to be in our app. In our app, you're going to be able to manage all of your bet sales, and right now you can go in there, you can sync your books, you can see your win-loss record, you can sell all or part of your bet. You'll be able to sell all or part of your bet. Right now you can see the value of your bet. You can see what your friends are betting on. So it's really cool utility. when you set out with an idea like this, you're never quite sure how hard it's going to be. And at the same, it's simultaneously much harder than you ever thought. And, you find out you're more encouraged than you thought, because I really see us breaking through. We're already live in market with real-time fantasy sports. You can trade fantasy entries for the first time after you place them. It becomes like a live betting experience. Once the game starts, you can see we even have meters that'll tick up as the person's getting closer to their over or staying under their under. So it's like a live betting module. We have our free-to-play with stations. We have a couple others that are signed, but we can't announce even here, but this will be the first that we announce it. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just kind of nudging ever closer. We started coming on your show probably over a year ago, and it's just been cool. It's a survive in advance, as they say in March Madness.
And we're triple digits live just on one platform here. To anyone new to Travis, to WagerWire, to myself, if you got one quick second, jump on over to YouTube, to East Coast Sports Investors, and subscribe. It's free. Turn the notifications on, because we're going to be doing a lot more work with Travis, live shows, and a part of this community. We're going live at 12 o'clock on Twitter Spaces. On the WagerWire community, and we couldn't be prouder, Travis, here at ECSI. A match made in heaven, and we talk about, the blast off in 2024 is just the start here. And we got plenty of room, people. You can jump on board. Why wait and hang out in the caboose here when you can be a part of this amazing community?
It is an amazing community, and something so Stephen A. Smith was the keynote speaker. He's a friend of a guy named John Wall Street, who you guys should follow. Really interesting analyst, kind of sports focused, but really came from the traditional, John Wall Street, it kind of sells itself. But Stephen A. Smith came, and I think what was really interesting and kind of broke some news, like, he's not beholden to ESPN if he doesn't want to be. He's going to hear them out, but he's got his own studio that he built, right? Like, I think that what's so interesting is whether it's Stephen A. or Pat McAfee, the creators themselves, if they're making good content, they're not only bigger than one show, they're bigger than an entire network, right? If they do it right. And it doesn't have to do with what platform they're going on now or whatever. It has to do with, the community that they built. But it also just has to do with like the new paradigm. What we want to help people do is, be seen and be heard, give the power back to the creators, make sure that they're not waiting on a check from a big corporation, that they can have the skills and reach that they need to go off and do what they need to do to create good content, because I think there's not enough shows like yours out there, Jeff, and we need to see more. So we'll have some updates on what has become like, a really big part of the company, which is the media side, because it's not just the technology that's going to allow you to transfer the bets. We want to create a community. We want to create basically a cinematic universe that you can step into that feels like, that you're a day trader for sports bets, because I think it's more fun than day trading. That feels like, the crypto, you get more excited about crypto than you do about people, get more excited about crypto than sports betting, because it's more gamified. It's more fun. It's not a spreadsheet the same way sports betting is. And that doesn't even make sense, because crypto is more or less fake and sports are very real. And Zach Doctor's going to kill me for saying that, but yeah.
And that's been the talk of the town of late. Again, here comes Bitcoin to the rescue again. Just when it's quiet, it gets quiet, and all of a sudden, here comes Bitcoin again, and all the people, the Dave Portnoys of the world, that sold it at $20,000. I think he jumped back in at 21,000. Sold at 12,000, and I think last I heard it was over 60,000. And we could just start doing our own little sports flashes on Bitcoin, the highs and lows. But hey, we shouldn't release this aloud here to everyone yet. So maybe that will be for another show there. So Sunday, the Oscars.
Yes.
We did a show on that. Today I prompted our show again with the amazing Muppets to get everyone here that's here now. Talk about the big day for you, almost like a Super Bowl Sunday. Give us the lead up, the weekend as you're getting close. Obviously, you're in New York City. You got back to LA on Friday. The weekend leading up to Sunday. Give us what Travis was all about on Sunday and what you saw.
Yeah, so it was a dogfight. There were favorites, right? But we were looking at the down ballot races, and we identified some interesting ones. The real dogfight, of course, was in Best Actress, where Emma Stone walked away uh, with the prize, because the Oscar season is kind of interesting, and really, it's going to truly start in about 5 weeks at the Cannes Film Festival. Last year, I think it was 3 of the films that ended up being nominated for 3 of the 10 Best Picture nominees premiered at Cannes. So the Oscar season really starts in 5 weeks. Anatomy of a Fall, Zone of Interest, and even Killers of the Flower Moon premiered at Cannes. And if you want to count May December, which was nominated but not a Best Picture, now those are all Cannes premieres. And then Oppenheimer and Barbie came out day and date July 15th. They dropped the exact same day. So that's a summer movie. So like you're talking about, over half of the Best Picture nominees came out before festival season. So we're seeing kind of a turnover from the traditional cadence. But the award season is what you look to when you're looking at the odds derby to see what's going to flip. There's different kind of indicators of sentiment, as we talked about earlier. And I'll just do the 10,000 foot recap. The disciplines nominate themselves for the nomination. So cinematographers nominate cinematographers, editors nominate editors, actors nominate actors for the nomination. They all can nominate a Best Picture nominee. Then once the noms are locked, the entire Oscar voting pool will vote on a winner. It's simple majority for everything except for Best Picture. Best Picture is ranked choice, and if none of the choices have above 50%, they eliminate the number, like the last number one choice, and they distribute the number twos of those number one choices amongst the field until one of the choices reaches that 50% threshold. So a little bit weird, and a system that's kind of new and actually a product of a very corrupt campaign that Harvey Weinstein ran in 1999, where Shakespeare in Love beat Saving Private Ryan. But not necessarily time for a history lesson here. I think the interesting results was Oppenheimer went under, right? 8.5 was kind of the line for over under on their 13 noms. They got 7, which we predicted on our shows, not to brag. One of the things that flipped, I mean, we knew that screenplay was out of the question, especially after Anatomy of the Fall won the BAFTAs. Interestingly enough, Barbie was forced to compete in the adapted screenplay category in America, but not in England, because of the Mattel IP. Oppenheimer was very clearly adapted from American Prometheus, the Pulitzer Prize winning book, but Barbie was just, IP. So they had never had a shot at that category. I say that because Prize Picks put out a terrible over-under on Barbie at 3.5. We put it at 1.5, and of course they went home with 1. The big thing that made Oppenheimer go under was the sound category, down ballot category, that they lost to Zone of Interest. So, and Zone of Interest won the Grand Prix at Cannes, and Anatomy of a Fall won the Palme d'Or at Cannes. So the Oscar season really starts in 5 weeks, and we're going to be tracking it throughout the year. Actress was crazy. Lily Gladstone had the chance to be the first Native American actress to win. She didn't, even though she won the SAG award. That's a big surprise, because 80% of the voting body in the Academy is actors, and generally whoever the SAG award, they're general indicators of the performance category. Emma had won the BAFTAs. It ended up going to Emma. No disagreement there or anything. I think they both gave great performances, but Barbie got swept down ballot. No costume, no hair and makeup, no production design. The only thing they won was song, Billie Eilish, which, God bless her, second Oscar, 22 years old. Absolutely amazing.
I think I know a lot in sports, and there's so much to know about the market and every move, yada, yada, yada. But I get a popsicle headache. I don't know how you do it, just, when it comes to that stuff. Was it embedded in you, or part of the UCLA Hollywood experience? Did you wake up, I'll say 2 names that I guarantee you 3/4 of the people have never heard of: Siskel and Ebert. I mean, were you part of the Siskel and Ebert, every Tuesday night at 7:30, watching them break down films?
I do love those guys, and I think and they're really, the greats. My exposure was really, I came from the writing side of things, and around like 12 years old, I got a camera. I'm just like an Ohio boy and I wanted to go to UCLA because it was the best film school. That's what I wanted to do, but you got to meet the moment. And there's an opportunity here that's never going to come again in sports betting, in betting, and in media. It's a total paradigm shift that I love to be a part of. But film was my, original passion. It's something since just a boy that I've loved. And to be honest, I have way more domain knowledge in film than in sports. But I think at the end of the day, there's a lot of crossover, right? Because every day on your show, you tell the story of these teams. You tell the story of the games that are going to be played, of the bets themselves. It's all storytelling. And so I found like a really nice crossover where it allows us to think from an outsider's perspective, okay, how can we tell the story of a sports bet better? Because I'm not entirely sure that the cacophony of numbers and the way that we're discussing it in general, like even on something like ESPN News, that it's resonating. And I think the discussion you and I have every week is important. And I think that the conversation is going to be more of a national one and less of a niche one very quickly. And we're taking lessons from, don't call it traditional media, but I'm taking that kind of background that I bring to it and a kind of applying that lens to this. And it's exciting. It's really exciting.
And you nailed it on my end. We've been on these channels for 9 years. January 1st, 2015, we launched. And I have said since day one, it's not gambling. It will always be investing. The 18 months of trolls. Now, everyone, quote unquote, is a sports investor. But what I have said since day one is simple, is Vegas creates an opening number, and it's the overnight number. And you wake up, you follow that. And in the morning, there's a number that is going to be released to the general public. Then it's the general public that decides, hey, I like UConn today. And then someone says, oh, I like Rick Pitino and St. John's. Then it becomes a serve and volley game. And it's our job here at East Coast Sports Investors to figure that out and to create the happy ending, which is obviously you cashing a winning ticket.
That's the happy ending, right?
That's the ending. But
that's
see,
the ending.
That's where WagerWire comes in before the credits are rolling, where we can then hopefully sooner than later be selling those. Since we're up 10 points at halftime and we're getting 8 points, why not sell back what we invested, gain a little profit, and have the non-sweat? And that's where WagerWire comes in, correct?
Absolutely. And we've just launched something really exciting, which we've been doing the bet value graphs on here for a little bit. And we've created wagerwire.com/graph, where you can actually see the value journey of a bet. And just yesterday, we've added a new feature, which is odds. So not only can you track the dollar value journey of a bet, but you can track the odds journey of a bet. And or I can share it right now with the people, Jeff. And I haven't really been following the tournament, so I would love for you to school me a little bit. But check this out. I put in Duke and North Carolina. My sister's about to graduate from Duke. That's my pick for the tourney. And you can see, going back to November here, their starting odds to win the tourney. And you could see now what we did was something interesting with the y-axis. It's plus 1,000 at the top of the y-axis, right? It's plus 4,000 at the bottom of the y-axis. Why is that? Because, and then this is for like the uninitiated that might be watching, favorites are the minus and underdogs are the plus. And so when you look at a odds graph that's actually put in numerical order, it's weird because the more favorited they get, the more they're falling down the graph. And so we kind of flip that. So the more favorite, and then eventually if they're, this will be a negative number up here. The y-axis is dynamic. So if a team's favorited, it would be obviously up in this region. But so as their, fortunes are climbing, they're actually going up and to the right. And as their fortunes are falling, they're going down and to the left. Radical, I know, but I can't tell you. The only other odds charts I've seen actually are displaying the inverse of really the momentum. So North Carolina is gaining momentum. Duke has let some steam out from, just before the new year here. And they're kind of in range of each other. But I would love for you to just shout out some teams and we could look at what their graphs are like.
Yes, and Duke lost last night to NC State, so they will have a long weekend before they prepare. I'm hearing they're going to go back east. Shout out to Mr. Berry, great duo. The graph is awesome. Thank you, Jay. Your work in the community is amazing. So keep up the great work there. I'm going to give you the I'm going to give you the three number one seeds.
Wait, Jeff,
And
real
then,
quick. I wanted to point out how real time this is. You're absolutely correct. Yesterday, plus 2,500 for the Dukies. Now we're down to 2720. So we're seeing that in real time, that dip. Pretty amazing. Yeah, sorry to go ahead.
No. As we like to say, a perfect buy low spot if you're a Duke fan. I'm hearing they could either go east, and the East is I'm not sure where they'd be playing in the first round, but I'm hearing potentially they could be heading to the TD Garden, where UConn potentially could be in the Sweet 16 and Elite 8, and the winner of that obviously would end up at Glendale, Arizona, where the Final Four in the championship is this year, or they could stay a little to the left of the East and avoid UConn. So I'm going to give you the three number one seeds right now. That's the Purdue Boilermakers. You got UConn, Houston. If you want to take Duke out for now, and then we got three teams fighting for the last number one spot, and that is Tennessee.
You think they're legit?
They're legit, but they have a tough coach that can't get through the first round. But they're long, strong, and athletic. Been playing in the SEC, and they're a tough out for sure. Tennessee, you got Arizona and North Carolina.
Right. Yeah. Punch in a little bit. And again, this is something that's available to everybody. And by the way, you guys can download these here and share them. It saves right to your computer. And oops, I just changed the graph on us, but I'll reset that. So we want Tennessee. Tell me a little bit about Tennessee.
Tennessee has had a great year. I don't have my graphs up in front of me. They've been the forefront with Alabama for most of the SEC. I'll tell you the darling. I will tell you the team that everyone has a part of in their portfolio that the books are cringing, and that's Kentucky this year. This team has put up 119 in the game. They put up 112. Coach Cal has got some scorers finally, and they can go up and down with the best of them. They can beat you 99-98, or they can try to outmuscle you 78-77. But getting into that SEC, Tennessee has been to the forefront for most of the year in the SEC with Alabama. Kentucky's kind of the darling of the group, as they're all still battling this weekend to see who wins the SEC. There's Kentucky right now. We gave them out about 6-7 weeks ago, right around 20-1. It dropped as low as 14-1, and now you're saying you could see them at plus 1940.
Now we can look at the whole season chart too. So, and just so everyone knows, yeah, y'all can do this yourselves. WagerWire.com/graph, and it's got the different leagues. There's other markets in the other leagues, like you can go conference and stuff. We're just going national championship on NCAA. NCAA was a tough one because there's so many teams that we had to input, and this is all real live data. We have plugged into the same back end that powers the scores and data in our apps, and it gives you the real time value of your bets. Real quickly, also, if you wanted to know the value of your bet at any point in time, we have this WagerWire bet value calculator where you just type in, what you placed your bet at, what the current odds are. You can even do parlay. You can add legs to it. And then if you have a cash out. You can see if you're getting a good deal. The cool thing too is that if you have our app and you've synced your sports books just by typing in your username and password, it'll calculate it automatically. It'll tell you right on the bet slip what it's worth, which eventually is going to be really cool when you can sell it. But for now, it's really great because you can see what the hedge equity is, if you're getting a good cash out offer, etc. But I'm really grooving on the graphs right now because I think it's a great visual representation of basically what you talk about on the show all the time. So I didn't mean to get away from the SEC. So if we look at that, we got Kentucky, and who else do you want to look at?
We'll go Kentucky, North Carolina. I'm going to give a couple of the darlings right now. Potential that people are looking for. Not dark horses, but Creighton's another one a lot of people are talking about from the Big East. Try to give you a little meat on the bones here.
Creighton. I had to figure out if that was I before E.
Right there. So again, you get some buy low spots here on Kentucky, on Creighton. Trying to think here. I'll give you a dark horse.
What happened with Creighton, Jeff? Why are they going like to the moon right here?
Where's that? The drop?
Yeah, but then they come way back.
Yeah, they're healthy again. They were nicked up late. Again, there a lot of people, a lot of talk of them the last week to 10 days, 2 weeks. There was a lot of pre-flop futures purchased on them at 30, 40 to 1. Had a good season in the Big East, got nicked up, as well as Marquette's star player has been out. It's been basically UConn box to wire. UConn lost their first game in the Big East at Seton Hall and then cheated until they lost. They had one loss at Creighton. So they're kind of just mowing through. Where are you now? That's Seton Hall.
Seton Hall, and they just went to the bottom. But they were knocking on the door here just late Jan.
Yeah.
They had a shot at least. I don't even want to look at the Pac-12. How are they doing in the Pac-12?
It's Arizona and a cloud of dust.
Yeah, true. Again, I encourage everyone to go play with this. It's pretty cool. And check out our community site while you're here. This is our, daily content from our amazing community. Interesting thing we've been doing too, like Brad at the Gaming Juice, he puts out his big board. I don't know if you guys have seen, the big board. He's every day he kind of updates these, who he thinks is going to be in exactly what seed. I would encourage people to check it out. He's got Purdue, Houston, Connecticut, and Tennessee, just like you, Jeff. And then he's got North Carolina, Arizona, Marquette. I love to see it. Iowa State, and then Creighton coming in at a 9 seed. Super interesting.
And there's Kentucky at 11.
Wait, how does this work? Yeah. Right. And there's Kentucky down here. So that's okay. These are his 4 threes. This is 4 threes. Here's his 4 twos. Those are his 4 ones. And 4 fours. It's so interesting. I mean, this is quite the exercise. And so we take that. We've been publishing a couple of these. If the tournament ended today, if the selections were made today, he would be the top 4. I'd love to know what you expect out of these conference tourneys that are going on, and how you see those changing the odds.
For the higher seeds, not much at all. For the teams fighting to get in, that's what makes this weekend so special. There are teams that need 2 and 3 wins to get in. I'll go back to last year. UConn bowed out today in the semis, and then basically got a couple extra days off, which allowed them more rest. So as much as I'm hoping that, I'm kind of torn. I would rather see UConn with 2 days extra rest. Rather see, get ready for the big dance versus, I know it's big to win the Big East tournament, obviously, at the Mecca at Madison Square Garden. It's big for these kids. But again, the teams that don't win their conference tournaments, it does allow them a couple extra days of rest, which for some of these teams rest is what they need.
Yeah, for sure. This is interesting. I don't know how you felt about Iowa State going into it. I put in, if we started with $1,000 wager back in November, right? That on Iowa State, it's worth 3.7K on WagerWire. Marquette is actually down. I think that they must be underperforming from what their preseason expectations were. And then if we flip it to the odds, and I had heard something, I don't know if you agree with it, but that the preseason rankings are kind of more based on raw talent. Rather than in-season performance. And sometimes they're a more accurate indicator of how the team's going to do in the tournament because there's so many crazy variables. Do you agree with that?
No, I do agree. And again, preseason, pre-flop expectations. A lot of people just flock to the alma mater. A lot of people flock to their favorite teams and just grab a pre-flop ticket on that, and they just wait to see how they perform. Where in today's market, the odds change daily, weekly. So if you don't want your money tied up for 6, 7 months, you can actually wait. For instance, if you were on a team like Marquette that is underperforming now due to injury, their star player being out, he'll be ready for next week, by the way. You can go in and get a Marquette and some other teams that are not like Kansas. Here, we can close with it. Put Kansas up there. If you look at what Kansas was pre-flop to where they are now, they got 2 guys injured. No one believes in Kansas. They play great at home. They're awful on the road. And look at this team right now. Preseason, they were a top. Preseason, they were a top 4 or 5 team, and now they got Dickerson out and another player out. They lost first round to Cincinnati. They can't get out of their own way.
Cincinnati's in buy low territory right now. Do you think they're gonna? Do they have any chance of making? They have to win the Big East to make it in, or what?
They have to. I'm not sure the exact record and where Cincinnati is sitting. I think they'd have to go pretty far in that. They'll have Kansas, Baylor.
Right, they're in the Big 12.
Kansas, Baylor, Houston.
Right. Right.
Texas Tech. There's a bunch of them there in the Big 12.
I love this thing. And by the way, like, this is a totally in-house thing that we built because we wanted to share this kind of thing with the public. So, early on, you and I would do these things and it was on an internal site, but it just made a ton of sense to put some effort into it and make it available to the public. So, and let us know what you think, if there's ways that we can improve it. I'm finding I'm having to refresh it more than I like, but this is all because we kind of built this thing by hand. Okay, there's Baylor, there's Kansas. And again, this is the bet value version that we're used to looking at. $100 wager, what it's worth today. Kansas, way down, only a third of its initial value. Baylor, a little bit down. And we flip it to the odds. And there you go. That's what it looks like as odds.
So you're getting almost you're getting almost plus 4,000 for $100 bet. And you're going to see Cincinnati. Yeah, so Cincinnati would have to win the tournament, it looks like, obviously, to get in.
It's their only shot, but they could do it, right?
Well, there's a team called Houston that I don't think will allow them to do it. Look
Houston.
at check out Houston.
Hardly know them. Let's see. Yeah, they're way up there.
But as we said last year, and this is so great. Again, a bazillion people watching live right now. If you haven't jumped over to YouTube to East Coast Sports Investors, please do subscribe. It's free. Turn on the notifications. You'll be seeing our shows weekly, obviously, with Travis. We're going to be doing a lot more day-to-day quick bites, as I like to say. We got a lot of stuff up our sleeve here moving forward for March Madness, the start of baseball, the Masters, the Kentucky Derby, NBA, NHL playoffs, maybe even a little parlay professor in between. We got a lot of stuff going on here. The Final Four last year.
Yeah, let's put it in.
This is perfect closing here. The Final Four last year consisted of UConn, who was a 4 seed, the University of Miami, who was a 5 seed, the University San Diego State, which was a 5 seed, and FAU, that was a 9 seed.
Yes, sir. Are you ready for
No,
this craziness?
no ones, no twos, no threes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So
Oh, we lost Travis. Hopefully he'll come back here for a second. Did we lose him? Oh, here he comes. Hold on one second.
I'm going to share my screen right here.
You're back.
And, I'm back. So here it is animated, right? April 5th, Jan 1st, round of 64, round of 32, right? This is a $100 bet, right? Really crazy. So FAU, that $100 bet going into the Final Four is worth $34,000. UConn going into the national championship game, $7,800. San Diego State got up to 2,100. Miami, that was a story too. So you can see here every round, boom, boom, especially for the long shots. Like any Cinderella team looking to make a run, this is a $100 bet. You make it to the Sweet 16, you're talking on $7,000. Elite 8, nosebleed, the 15 grand, that $100 bet. Final Four, this is like when you just wish that you had if you had a Florida Atlantic bet or a San Diego State bet, maybe you're an alumni, you place it every year just to support the boys. You probably are like, how do I capitalize on this? And we had a lot of people come to us last year with this same thing. Oh, UC lost to Baylor last night. My dad just texted me. I didn't see that. Boo.
That's why they're out.
Poor Bearcats. But yeah, Jeff, like this is exactly what, and it's going to get, really exciting when this functionality turns on. It won't be for this March Madness, but we'll have pick'ems. On RT, they don't do NCAA, but this tournament, and honestly, golf tournaments, any sort of elimination tournament, you can really just be banking on, will this person advance? And if they do, will their odds change? And if the odds change, will the value of my bet change? And is there a potential to take a profit if that happens? And yeah, I think that's something you preach all the time. You actually do it in a way more complicated way because you haven't had this functionality yet, but I can't wait to see how much damage you can do once we turn this puppy on.
And as you see, I'm smiling ear to ear. I can't wait. I guess as I want to close here, flip the stage to you. I want you to explain, yell, scream, holler at the top of your lungs where you are today, where you want to be in, let's say, the next 3 months, and what to expect from WagerWire and its community for the rest of 2024.
Yeah. So where we are today is in the process of, I think, changing the paradigm forever, to the point where in a couple of years we'll wake up and you'd be like, remember when we couldn't sell our bets? Like that was messed up. Like we placed a bet, we couldn't sell it. Like that was weird. And it's going to be just the new normal, right? You're not going to want to go to a book where you can't sell your bet. They got you hamstrung. So we think it'll be ubiquitous. Now we're up against a lot of things, a lot of business challenges that would probably put everyone here to sleep. It has to do with the technology the industry is running on. It has to do with some legacy leadership, some slow movers, but it's coming. It's coming. And I think that for now, just hang out with us. We got a great community. They're making daily content. We got Twitter shows every day. Actually, you're coming on our Twitter show at noon today, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes. Everyone check out our X, follow WagerWire at WagerWire. Jeff Dawson's our guest of honor on our noon show today. But it's a cool place to hang out. The app is really helpful, and it's getting more helpful all the time. You can sync all of your sports books or your fantasy apps. You can see your combined ROI, your win-loss record across books. You can add friends. You can see what they're betting on. We've actually added coins now, so you get coins for logging in every day. You can level up your ranks. Eventually, we'll have some pretty cool prizes that those equate to. You got our calculator on our site. We got our graph on our site. And again, if you sync your sports books, we'll be able to automatically tell you the value of all your bets right in the app. That's how we found Martwan. And if it's, you got some big bets that you want to try to sell, we can figure out a way even ahead of our technology launching, that we can find you a buyer for your bet. I mean, I saw a dude, it's got a crazy parlay. Rangers to win the World Series, Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, and he needs the Thunder to win the NBA championship, and he can turn 1,000 into 1.7 million. So we're looking at that. We're just seeing if we could get that guy something for it. But if you're a person like that, and it sounds like a bet that you might have, let us know, because we do it big. And last guy we flew out to Vegas, we always sweated it live with him at the Circa. So where we're at, Jeff, we're on the warpath is what I would say. And we invite everyone to come with us, because truly, why can't you sell your bet? It's kind of messed up. We don't believe in that future. We want to give all the power back to the people. And by the way, there's a ton of benefits for the books too. Of course, the house is always going to win, but we give you a shot of taking some cash and not having to take the L.
And the funny thing is, I'll close with this. We started the show talking about Bitcoin. You can spend millions and millions and millions, buy, exchange, and buy on something you can't even hold. It's fugazi. And I'm not here to discredit Bitcoin or anyone that is very successul in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all that other good stuff. I'm not here to say that, but my point is, sports, as you said, are live. You turn your TV on right now. There's a game going on. There's a bunch of games starting at 12 o'clock. They're live. There's actual sports books that you can go and place a wager. And in 2 hours, you either go and cash that ticket or it becomes confetti in a beer coaster. They're live. And so you should be able to, like Bitcoin, like day trading, like the stocks, you should be able to buy and sell freely. And you guys are on the cusp of greatness. And we're just blessed to be a part of it.
Blessed to be with you, Jeff, and I can't wait for people to see what else we got cooking up.
Well, listen, I can't thank everyone enough. I will be on Twitter Spaces with WagerWire in exactly 20 minutes.
Oh, wow, it's East Coast. That's East Coast time. Yeah, you will be on in 20 minutes. Okay, yeah, everyone who's watching, if you're not watching on X, go to X and at WagerWire. Jeff Dawson himself, the man, will be on our home turf, being interviewed by some of our very best. I'm excited for that.
Yes, I enjoy being the host or the co-host, and now I am the guest. So I got 20 minutes to prepare, and it's been an amazing turnout, everyone. Thank you. Likes, retweets, be a part of this community. Go follow Travis at WagerWire, at CXO WagerWire, and of course, the doctor himself. We need to get you back on, Zach, as well. So everyone, go enjoy yourselves. If you haven't downloaded the app, run over to Google Play, wherever you download the apps, get yourself acclimated to it. And again, if you're looking for some flash cash, reach out to Travis, Zach, the rest of the community at affiliate at wagerwire.com, and they will take good care of you. Thank you guys so much. Me and Travis will try to catch up again next week. If not, we'll be back during the madness itself. Behave yourselves. Enjoy the weekend. It's here. And we'll see you soon.
Thank you.